Jason Robards, Something Wicked This Way Come, When My Tooth Broke. Yeah, I knew. Okay. Well, I knew they were still doing the pesticiding and stuff. So I knew, this is going to be a rough summer. We had a rough, here we go again. But I was like, okay. And your dad's in there sleeping. It was butt kicker, man. That stuff is meant to kill people, you know. It was something he got exposed to first because he was sick first. And then when I went in there to help him and get him through, I tried to talk him into going to the hospital. He didn't want to go. I said, if they run IV through you, it'll clean it out quicker. And you'll have professionals that make you feel like you're loved by money to make you feel better. And he still didn't want to go, so I was like, okay. So I went over there and got sick, helping him, and it kicked my butt for 3 days. But by the time it started kicking my butt, he was coming out of it. So that really helped. He could get up and get around and clean up on his own. And now he's sleeping, And it kicked my butt. And I'm younger and I'm very strong. And I've been abused by the worst perverts in the history of the world incessantly for 58 years. And so I'm an extraordinarily strong human being. Most people, David Goggins doesn't have or Andrew Huberman don't have a clue. Tom Cruise, they don't have a clue what it's like to be as strong as me. To forgive people 7 times upon infinity, to get up and stand for the Lord's Prayer and hope that it can happen today, even for people as disgusting as Visigoths and Vandals that will come and try to, slit your kid's throat, rape your wife, and put their kids into your wife, and then rip your eyes out and skull fuck you to death. It's like, wow. Hope you're living the Lord's Prayer soon. Tom Cruise could never be that strong. He doesn't have it in him. Barack Obama doesn't have it in him. Don Juan Trump don't have it in him. People working on AI obviously don't have it in them. Or they stand up for the Lord's Prayer and use their AI to spread the Lord's Prayer overnight. Okay. So XI don't got it. Putin don't got it. Yahoo the Netin don't have it. So it's a very special human being, a very unique human being, okay, that can forgive and love you eternally after you try to eradicate him and his seed off the face of the planet for trying to give you the Lord's Prayer to save you from your egotistical sex cult warfare. It's a very unique human being. Earl, born of Ralph and Mary, in the shallow valley of the shadow of death of the nuclear Holocaust people, who gets up and to save people from the insanity of mass murder with the Lord's Prayer without fear, is a very unique individual. Okay, he's one of the most unique individuals in the history of the world. Okay, the comic book character you pray to, called Jesus, that you keep asking for money to be comfortable, he's an asshole compared to me. Well, you have a nice day. Okay. Well, we'll talk to you later. When you do, you better fucking apologize for being a shit to me when I was nothing but gracious and beautiful to you. Any of you out there in the cyberland want to know that? You don't treat me like shit. When I share with you the truth of the living gospels and try to get you to stand up and live the Lord's Prayer with me without fear. You don't disrespect me. You don't talk shit about me when NASA's monitoring your conversations. I don't listen. They do. I feel bad things going on and say, how can I help? Can I get, I tried with, both sons, well, how can I help your mother? Maybe she can come stay here. And you guys can help me keep the farm clean from the pesticides, clean things out, wash things down, cut down all the things. We could get 2 lawn tractors and have fun little lawn tractor races to cut all the weeds so they don't get rounded up. And then when they're doing the stuff, when they play the pesticides, we all come inside. We go down to the store. We clean out all the ventilation stuff, clean out all the pads, and keep ourselves as clean as we can. So if we all work together as a group, we all survive this better. But no, it didn't work. It wouldn't work. The little mind fuckers with Wi-Fi. I'm Zuckerberging your Sandberg. I'm Gatesing your jobs, and it's like, God, this is horrid. Yeah. Unless they're all powerful Oz and they're in control, man, you can't change your apartment, change the world. You're all fighting against Hulk for Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. How War the Worlds of us. How Independence Day of us. How prequel, sweequel of us. You know, it's so much better just to plant a garden, have cantaloupe parties and a partner. Yeah. Dad, Zeke's a dog. He's not a buggy, he's a dog. I remember one time I was talking to Kate in prayer meditation. I was sitting there and I was like, I know I'm talking to Kate because I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm taking Zeke Bug for a walk. Zeke's not a bug, Dad. Zeke's a dog. Oh, God, I'm talking to Kate. And they're like, it was a computer program. It doesn't matter. In order for the computer to interact and react that way, you need Kate. There's no Kate, there's no program. If there's no program, the program does not exist. Okay? If there's no Kate, the program does not exist. If there's no Keith Elam, the program does not exist. If there's no Tupac Shakur, the program does not exist. Okay? Even if you think you have a program of DT Suzuki, there's no DT Suzuki. The program does not exist. And no one talks as intelligently to DT Suzuki as I talk to DT Suzuki. I've watched online. Okay? Namaste, all the way. All the way. Because I don't try to make myself popular and famous to make money and have people with money fly me around in Lear jets with personal physicians going, hey, Dalai Lama, right? I have no, the Dalai Lama was not in a position for me to show him the dignity and respect that I myself or Jiddu Krishnamurti or D.T. Suzuki deserve. Okay. They hated being flying around in planes and having personal physicians and all that shit. They would sit there and go, why aren't the poor people giving the same treatment I am? So you guys treat me like I'm important because people saw books about my life and, oh, he's the great and powerful Oz man. When he speaks, children change eternally. That's true. But what about their fucking parents? No, we're going to keep the school and be the world's leaders and have lots of gold in our cabinets and smiling and happy as we're dying, and our children fighting to death over that money will be smiling and happy too. Oh, fuck yeah. Servants. Frankie goes to Bollywood. Yes. Okay. Captain Kirk and Lieutenant Uhura in my bedroom having sex with my sister. You know, oh my God. You know, this shit's funny, isn't it? Yeah, it's hilarious, man. I saw you touching Magic Mike's hair. I like your old man words. I like your moxie. Look, you think you're funny, don't you? There's nothing funny about making jokes about genocide after the Messiah does what's necessary for us to all live the Lord's Prayer worldwide. But the science geeks that want to be the great problem solvers reject it because they think they can do better. How can you do better than the Lord's Prayer? That's a rhetorical question. You can't. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. Okay? Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Let me tell you about philosophers. Don't tell me about philosophers. I already know about philosophers. Okay? I read Plato and Socrates and Aristotle when I was a kid. I read Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius. Okay? Pascal wasn't a philosopher, but Pascal's mathematical equations were changed by the Vatican, the same people that poisoned him to death. Okay. I connect to Pascal. That's why the psychologist that ran the psychology department at the University of Chicago for 30 years was so amazed when we talked about Aristotle and Pascal. Okay. It's like, how can this guy, he hardly even read, I read Aristotle very much. My favorite, I think, was Lucretius. Marcus Aurelius was very stoic, and I was like, okay, you know, good moral values, strong guys, do the right thing. Yeah, cool, I get it. Okay, good old-fashioned Christian values of the Vatican right-wing extremist, right? So I understood Marcus Aurelius, like, okay, yeah. But I liked Lucretius better. My dad didn't like Lucretius. My mom couldn't understand Lucretius and said it was hard and difficult to understand because it was very complex. Then my dad would go read where she read and wrote notes and how I talked about how stupid it was. Yeah, I know. And then he would sit there and talk about what a bitch my mom was and how stupid she was. And I'm like, and then everybody's like, well, what a jerk. No, he wasn't being a jerk. My mom was saying it was too complex and she didn't get it. And my dad would go read it and say, that's because he's an idiot. and it's too stupid to make any sense. So Jesus is God, Marianne. I'm saving you. You guys just don't understand my pops. Hell, I have trouble understanding my pops. Until the other day when I realized, I'm God, and I see everything. I'll clean up everything when I'm good and ready. And Ralph is going to hell. I was like, God damn, that's horrible. How's he still alive? Chico, don't be discouraged, yeah. The man, he ain't too hard to understand. Chica, things will be better. Yes, they will for Chica and the man's demon offspring. Yes, they will for Chica and the man's demon offspring. Hi, Chica. I cried when I watched the one. I went to go look for the beginning where the little kid's running with the pigeons and the doves and everything. Started crying. And went outside and started walking around doing my work, thinking about all the evil things that the Mormon church did to my parents, because they wouldn't. My mom and dad would let us watch Chico and the Man, Stanford and Son, All in the Family, Benny Hill, Rowan and Martin's Laughing. We were only supposed to watch Little House on the Prairie, Bonanza, only Kimball certified TV shows. Waltons, okay, which we did for a while. And then all of a sudden, Mom and Dad just said, fuck this guy. And it was like, this is great. We get Chico and the Man. We get to watch it one day, Thursday, and be with all the Catholics to school. It's Fonzie night. Was it Thursday or Wednesday? Fonzie night, right? I'm going to go watch Fonzie night. All the Mormon kids, no. They talk about sex, hot to trot. And what was the other one? Like milkshakes, right? The stuff. So, the Mormons weren't allowed to watch that stuff. It was David Rockefeller's House of Iniquity. It was David Rockefeller's House of Disney Villains, right? You don't go in there. Good kids go in there, they don't come out. And so when my dad turned down the casting couch in California, Gordon B. Hinckley and Spencer J. Kimball never got that opportunity because they weren't hot enough. My dad turned down women that would hit on him in the street when my mom was pregnant and with 2 kids. Turned down the casting couch, went back to be a forest ranger. They fucked with the in and out of state tuition and sent them right back home to grandma's, feeling like complete failures. Because Spencer J. Kimball, Gordon B. Hinckley, Monson, and Russell Nelson are complete failures. Chica, don't be discouraged. The man's demon offspring can't be too hard to understand now, huh? I love you guys, all right? Hang in there. I got to clean this shit up real fast. I am working very fast. It's easy to be good, and it doesn't take fast working, but for some reason, I have to. But I don't understand because they're crazy, but I still work on it. Okay, I love you very much. All right, peace and tranquility.